Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where professionals in the field educate, inform and inspire the community to live a more balanced and healthier lifestyle they love. Our first guest today is naturopath, respiratory specialist and published author Julia Rudakova, and she will be talking about effective solutions for sleep apnea. Welcome, Julia.
Thank you.
What is obstructive sleep apnea?
So obstructive sleep apnea is exactly what's in the name. There is an obstruction in the airways and the person stops breathing for some time during sleep. Those episodes can be quite long or can be short and frequent, and normally a good sleep study will tell you which stage of obstructive sleep apnea the person is at. And as always, as a breathing specialist, I go back to the fundamentals and look at why that dysfunctional pattern occurred. So with obstructive sleep apnea, as I mentioned before, there is an obstruction. So what the obstruction is, normally it's the tissues that are super relaxed during sleep. Oftentimes it happens when the person is sleeping on their back, and that soft tissue falls and blocks the airways partially, and it's harder to breathe. However, the body is very smart, and the body will always push you to breathe, and that's when the person wakes up. So it's that constant waking up throughout the night that leads to fatigue in the morning, poor memory, poor concentration during the day as a result. And we look at the whys of the obstruction. So oftentimes it is a bit of an extra weight that a person might carry. So just when there is a little bit of an extra weight, it's just the weight is more to press and the condition develops faster. There is also a chemical aspect of sleep apnea. Again, that dysfunctional breathing pattern, that vicious cycle of over-breathing, maybe even throughout the day, mouth breathing throughout the day, mouth breathing at night, that developed as a response. And it's not a pathology. I always say it's not a pathology, it's a response of the body to something. And we need to figure out what that something is. And that's a bit of a detective work that we do. But what I always point at is with obstructive sleep apnea, we deal with oftentimes CPAP machine. And what I say with a CPAP machine, it's a great intermediate step because there is no oxygen that the body receives, that the brain receives, and there is fatigue as a result in the morning. However, the CPAP machine pushes the oxygen, but we have two gases that participate in the breathing process. It's oxygen and carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide is lost. And what the carbon dioxide does for us that we forget is that it delivers oxygen into the cells. We still need to maintain that oxygen delivery. It's the Boy effect. It's in every medical textbook. And what it says is that to detach the oxygen, so the oxygen travels in the red blood cells on the hemoglobin molecule, right? It travels in the blood and we need it in a cell, in a tissue, to have energy there, to get energy there. And carbon dioxide is the guy who takes it off the hemoglobin and delivers it. It's like in a taxi, and the carbon dioxide opens the door, please get out. Here is your destination. So we need it. And when we lose it a lot through mouth breathing, especially at night, we spend on average 8 hours. 8 hours a day we spend sleeping. And it's a lot of carbon dioxide lost through that. So we need to look at breathing retraining.
So what are effective solutions for sleep apnea?
So for sleep apnea, I do recommend to break that vicious cycle of overbreathing again during the night, during the day, and start looking at how we can reverse and how we can re-establish nasal breathing. Nasal breathing is the key here in obstructive sleep apnea, just because of that mechanism of oxygen delivery. And as a result, better oxygenation of the tissues and cells and better focus during the day. Oxygen is energy. Oxygen is our energy currency. So we have energy from food, but we also get energy from breathing. So we can waste our energy through breath, or we can get more oxygen and get more energy.
What is your advice for people with obstructive sleep apnea?
Well, firstly, do not wait to get diagnosed. If you're tired in the morning, let's look at how you breathe during the day. And if there is any feedback, if you have a partner in the room about your snoring, so that would be number one. But, for the viewers today, I would just say, let's do this little test and see how gently and slowly you can breathe. So set up a timer for 5 minutes and see if you can maintain regular, slow meaning it's an average 6 breaths per minute, right? It's a very functional breathing rate. It means you breathe into the count of 4, you breathe out to the count of 6, and you do it gently. And for sleep apnea, for obstructive sleep apnea, the gentleness in the breathing process is the most important aspect. And I'll explain why this is so. So imagine that the airway is like a paper straw. So when you order a milkshake at a cafe and you have a sip, nice big sip through a thick paper straw, and if you take it really, really hard, then the paper straw collapses. The sides of the paper straw will come together just because of that force. And if you sip gently, it's going to be intact. So that's kind of an analogy of our airways, right? So gentle breathing is the key here for sleep apnea sufferers. So you can start doing that at home, see where it leads you, and always seek an individualized plan from a professional naturopath.
Thank you so much, Julia. If you'd like to learn more about effective solutions for sleep apnea and Julia, you can visit her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au.